Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan is pledging to organize free and fair elections when the country holds its presidential vote next year. Next April's election is expected to be a closely contested race, with many wondering whether Mr. Jonathan will run. Joining me now to discuss the political situation in Nigeria is Chinedu Offor, who has just returned from Nigeria. Welcome, Chinedu.
Thank you, Vincent.
And in Nigeria, we get reports that the national chairman of the ruling party, PDP, has in fact announced that the zoning system is dead. What does this mean, and what does this mean to the president, Jonathan?
Well, Vincent, for those who may not understand the term zoning, it's a gentleman's deal by the top officials of the ruling party to rotate power between the north and the south, and not just the presidency, but other top government jobs. Well, what this means effectively is Mr. Jonathan is free to run, because prior to this announcement, very influential northern politicians were holding on to the zoning formula to buttress their opposition to Jonathan. They says he can't run based on that because the north still has 4 more years to take a shot at the job after the death of former President Makori. And to the extent that Mr. Jonathan now controls all presidential powers, he's the front runner, and that means if he's going to run next year, it'll be very difficult to stop him.
Yeah, but you just came back from there. How is the political temperatures, especially in the north or amongst the northern politicians?
Well, it's at a point when the people got to know that the north might be losing it, or it just might be slipping away after the northern governors met at a meeting and it was inconclusive. The northern governors are pretty powerful, and if anyone is going to challenge Mr. Jonathan, that candidate would have to be one of the governors. To the extent that they fail to agree is not a good sign for the north. Also, the north is not what it used to be before. It used to be a pretty tight political region, but now, because of different parties and different ideologies and different positions, they no longer speak with one voice. And this is a good thing for Mr. Jonathan, who has the South-South, which covers the Niger Delta and other oil-producing areas, the East, the West in support. And there's a calculation that if he can get about 20, 30, 40% of the vote from the North, he can become president again. He doesn't need the entire North to do that.
Now, very quickly, what is it that President Goodluck Jonathan has achieved up to this point that he can actually use as a platform in his bid for the presidency?
I think the first thing he's been able to stabilize Nigeria. Everyone understands that when Yar'Adua was in power, there was a drift, or at least the country was standing in one spot. But now that he's gone, Jonathan, it appears, is moving forward just gradually. A case in point, power supply has improved. It used to be about 3 hours out of 24 hours in a day, but now it has gone up to about 7 or 6 hours every day. So he's telling people, if I can do this within a few months after assuming office, if you give me 4 more years, I might be able to give Nigeria and guarantee Nigeria 24 hours of power supply.
Thank you very much, Chinedu. We'll keep our eye on that story. Chinedu Offor of the Voice of America.